So you just started on this art journey, or maybe you have painted when you were younger, in college, in high school, and you left it for a long time. Whatever it is, these are the 10 things that I did in the first year of discovering watercolor painting. It's the 10 things that I feel that really helped me propel my journey in painting. It's helped me define my style. If you've been following me on my channel for a while, I thank you so much. But if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do. It will really help the algorithm of YouTube know that you like my content. So with that said, let's get straight into the 10 things. Right, you've just discovered painting. Maybe you watched a YouTube video of wonderful artists and you don't have the supplies. Well, you know what? Just use what you've got. If you've got kids at home, more likely than not, you've got one of those cake sets of watercolor where you can buy them really cheaply from the dollar store. Use those, use some cheap brushes, use paper, as long as maybe you're not using printer paper, just use a thick watercolor paper, it doesn't have to be cotton, and start there. Just use what you've got. Seriously, even these cheap sets can really produce some really awesome paintings. I will show you here. This is my first watercolor painting that I used my kids' watercolor set with, and it was the first thing that made me so excited and confident about going further. So yes, just use what you got at home. The second thing I want to share with you, which you might be already doing, is to do heaps of online YouTube tutorials. Yes, that's right. That's how I got started learning how to paint. I discovered YouTube online classes during the COVID lockdown, as many of us did. And the best thing about YouTube is that you can curate your own art journey. Like seriously, there are tons of amazing content, vast resources, brilliant teachers out there with so many different styles of painting, so many different styles of teaching. And the best part is you just put together your own way of learning watercolor or learning whatever medium that you are choosing to learn in. The best teachers that I learned from is Jenna Rainey, Emma LaFave. I'll link all their links to their channels below. Christy Rice. Like seriously, in this first year, or at least the first 6 months, just do, paint, learn. This is not to say that you can't go to an actual watercolor live class. Of course, those are wonderful as well. You can do them in tandem, but just want to, share with you that in my journey, this whole YouTube learning thing, I feel like it's propelled me way faster than any in-person formal traditional art class ever could. Simply because I was able to really lean into what interests me and dive right into the videos straight away at home in my own time. So yes, in this first year, do plenty of online tutorials. Don't be shy to copy, just do it, trust me. Now the next thing I really feel that all artists should do at the start of their art journey is to start an Instagram account. Yup. Start a dedicated art Instagram account. Don't use your personal one where you have pictures of your children and your pets and your food and your vacations. No, just start a brand new account, your name, _painting or _art. And the wonderful thing about Instagram, well, there are many wonderful things. And for me, the main reason why I started this Instagram account is because I wanted to have a filing place, almost like a system where I could see my progress in a very neat grid format. And Instagram was just the perfect platform, perfect medium for it. I wasn't even thinking about growing followers or getting likes or even thinking about, having a community. That all just came afterwards as like additional benefits. So I just started uploading my paintings. I think I started uploading about a month after I started messing around with watercolor, and I haven't regretted since. Today I have almost 30,000 followers on Instagram. Apart from what a lot of artists have said about Instagram, like it's really daunting, you have to put so much work and post every day. Fortunately, my style of art is quick and sparse, and I do paint every day anyway. So start your Instagram account, build your community, get to know other artists like you online, people who love the same thing. It's so fun. It is so great. And if you're thinking of growing this into a business, you want to start selling your art, doing an online store, start a YouTube channel, an Instagram account is a really easy platform, easy social media platform to start with, and it's perfect for artists today. Now, the next thing I recommend you do within the first year of painting is upgrade to professional or artist level supplies. For watercolor, these are the two things I feel that are most important. One is paint and the other is paper. Some might argue one is more important than the other, but let me share you how I did it. So paint was the first thing that I upgraded. I was using those kiddie watercolor sets for maybe a week or two until I did some research online and I bought a set of Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolor. And Cotman is the Winsor & Newton student level paint. So the difference between student level and artist level is that student level has the same pigments but lots more of filler and binder. So what happens is the paint isn't as vibrant as the artist level paint. So I had these Cotman paints, and what was happening was that I was doing these online tutorials with Jenna Rainey, and I realized that my paints just wasn't as vibrant as her paintings, particularly sap green. So her sap green was just bang on vibrant and bright. Her leaves were amazing, and I struggled to get that same level of vibrancy. So once I upgraded from student grade to artist grade, and I didn't go all colors at once. I actually bought 2 by 2 because they were quite expensive. Sap green, opera rose, scarlet lake were one of the first few colors that I bought in professional level. Pick the colors you use most often and the colors you want to really stand out and be vibrant, and then slowly build your set. And then the next thing is paper. So for paper, a lot of watercolor artists say that it's a game changer. Once you upgrade from cellulose, which is what students start with, to 100% cotton paper, your work will just suddenly boom, like it'll be so much more amazing, okay? The 100% cotton paper lets the paint move more freely, the bleeds happen more predictably, and all of that. However, that said, as a beginner, I think for the first 6 months or so, I didn't really have a problem with cellulose. I was using Canson XL. I loved Canson XL. I felt the paper was thick enough, the texture was really lovely, and I used that for a long time until I decided to try and buy my first pad of 100% cotton paper. And then I was like, oh my God, okay, yes, I know now why all the artists are talking about how paper can just elevate everything. However, I feel in terms of paint and paper, I would change my paint first and then paper, because paper feels really expensive to just waste or use as a beginner. It is true. When you buy a tube of professional paints, it lasts forever. Like seriously. Some colors, the way watercolor is, especially if you buy tubes and you just squeeze it into your palette and let it dry overnight, one tube can last forever, so you don't really feel the pinch of wasting. Whereas for paper, it's like one painting, $2 for this piece of art, just $2 to $3, and that's it. It's gone, all right? So if you are feeling frugal, I would say upgrade your paints first and then your paper. Paints, I did it in about 3 months, and then paper, I only started to gradually move into 100% cotton around the 6 to 8 month mark. And these days, some days, I still use cellulose. So upgrading your supplies will be a game changer for you. The next tip I think you should do in the beginning of your art journey is to make art for your family and friends. Yes. You know, it's a new hobby, it's something you're into right away. And in the first year, I really enjoyed making cards, making birthday cards for my friends. I make Christmas cards, and now every year I paint a portrait for my children on their birthday. So a little like A4 size marker of the year, which they love. Your friends and family will love this about you. It's a way to share your joy, and who doesn't like a homemade, hand-painted card or present? Seriously, do that. It's just a wonderful way to spread the love and to just share your growing passion for this new hobby. The next important thing is to not invite criticisms too early into your journey. Meaning, don't ask for real critics, real critical feedback about your art too early. So what I discovered is that there are these Facebook groups for beginners, for painting, learning watercolor, and people would share their painting on the Facebook group and invite feedback from the community. And at the beginning, when I read these feedbacks from paintings that people have posted, I would be seriously quite horrified by some of the comments. Not that they were mean, but they were really too technical and too complicated for a beginner or for someone who's just learning to really grasp these feedback anyway. I really feel that at the beginning of your art journey, it's important to be surrounded by people who really encourage you, give you a lot of motivation and support, and just so much love for whatever stage of art that you are at, right? Getting feedback too early is just not ideal for the beginning artist, if you ask me. Right, the next advice I would give you is to just lean into all the mediums, all the genres, all the subject matters that you are curious about in the early part of your journey, right? Whether it's tinkering with acrylics and pastels and color pencils, liquid watercolor. Of course, it can be quite expensive to go out there and just get all this stuff, but if you can afford it, it's really good to start experimenting early. You know, I know some teachers that said, no, you have to stick to your own medium, get really good in your own medium, just be really proficient, then you are allowed to try other things. I feel like the first year of your painting journey is just this really potent time where you should just lean into all the curiosity and feel everything out as much as possible as you can, because this is building the foundation for your style, for the way you want to paint. Maybe you want to be a mixed media in 5 years. Maybe watercolor is just something you're going to start at the beginning. Who knows? So just try as much as possible at the beginning. The next thing possibly you could try in the first year, and this is maybe towards the end of the year, is to start moving away from doing online tutorials and start to challenge yourself to paint from a photo reference or just copying a painting, a static painting. So this will just help you release the dependence on a step-by-step instruction, which you will need at the beginning for sure. Like, I wouldn't be where I am just trying to copy from a painting from the start, not knowing what I'm doing, how to hold a brush, how much water to use, pigment, blah blah, all that. But at some point, I felt, for me anyway, I wanted to just try to paint something on my own by looking at a reference and without relying on tutorials. And I feel like that was a big evolution, a big growth journey for me, and maybe it might not be for you in the first year. I painted every day, multiple times a day even, so you will know when that point is reached for you. You will know when you reach that sort of point in your journey where you want to. So once you feel the urge to, just dive right in, just plunge, just go and get messy and try. You never know till you try, all right? Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Seriously, art is a place where you can make all the mistakes that you should, because seriously, what you gotta lose? It's just paper, it's just paint. Yeah, you might, waste some supplies, but everything is learning, everything is a part of a journey. So make all the mistakes you want on the art. Okay, the next one I feel is really important, and is that to create a dedicated space for yourself at home for your art, for your passion, for your creative outlet. When I started painting, it was the first time that I actually said to my family, I want a desk for myself in the corner of this living room. That's just for me and my supplies and my art. So I have my little laptop there, my painting supplies, my journals, my notebooks, and I discovered, man, I haven't had a space like that for myself since I was a teenager, when I had, my desk in my bedroom. What's going on? And I realized that missing element of having my own space, whether it's just 1 by 1, 2 by 1, whatever, was just so important for me, giving myself me time, space to explore my own interests and not sharing that space with everyone else in the family. That point was really a turning point for me and making me realize how important self-care was, how important it was to make myself priority in this crazy world where you are raising families and having a job and there's all these pressures of the world. Carve a little space for yourself in your home for your art. And from that, it led me to now just having my own studio space where I told my family, I'm taking this space, guys. It's gonna be for me and for my art, and it's my sanctuary. So it just starts from a little space for yourself. Even if it's just a tiny corner at the end of your dining table or whatever. You don't need much space for watercolor, especially. It's easy to clean up, everything's compact. You can just close up your palette at the end of the day, put away your brushes. That's the best part of watercolor painting. So yeah, do it, definitely get a space for yourself once you are into this new passion of yours. Finally, the last tip I want to give you is don't be in a rush to find your style. The holy grail of what all artists are searching for, to find our look, find our style, our own unique take on the subject that you have chosen to paint. Don't be in a rush. Seriously, your style will emerge as you lean in to all the things you want to do, all the things you want to try, all the tutorials that you have taken, all the images that you have absorbed in your system. I have a video dedicated to how I found my style, or am still finding, and you can click here, I think here in this video, if you are interested, to see how what I have to say about finding a style. But it's important that you should not even consider that in the start of your journey. Don't be in a rush to find your style, because the worst thing you want to do is settle on a style way too early and box yourself in, and then you stop yourself from growing. I think all artists who really enjoy the art for the process know this anyway. Unless you set up to be an artist just because you want to sell a product or you want to, fit into a certain look, then you go for that for sure. But I think if you're painting from your heart, if you're painting for joy, if you're painting for all the therapeutic benefits that a lot of us do, style is just something you can just leave in the back burner, and eventually it will surface anyway. So there you go. Those are my 10 tips for you if you've just started on your art journey, watercolor specifically, because I'm a watercolor artist as of now. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if there's anything else that you want to add to this list that you feel was crucial in your first year, please sound down in the comments below. And if there's anything that you really resonate with and you go like, yes, 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 I'm doing that right now, or I want to do more of this, tell me all about it. Subscribe to my channel, like the video. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next one.